Alright, we're back to go ahead and re-adhere the glass screen to the black frame of this LG Optimus F3. So we have our new piece of glass just right here. What we're going to do is use some 3M double-sided tape. It's a rubberized adhesive. I have black and clear. I have two different sizes as well. I have a 3mm and a 1mm. We're going to go ahead and start off with the thinner 1mm tape here. It might be a 1.5mm. Either way, I think either one of those will work. And just a nice thin tape. We're going to go ahead and run this tape down the sides of the black frame here. Now right here at the top of the frame there's kind of a little lip. You want to make sure you keep the tape underneath that. Just go ahead and press it down the side. What I like to do is take either a dental pick or a metal pick of some sort or an opening tool and run it down here and try to get the tape to stick to the inside portion of the frame as much as possible. The goal is to not overlap the tape or the tape go up the side of the frame. You want it to lay nice and flat on the interior portion of the device. Just take a pair of scissors and cut it a little bit short. Now, you may not have to watch the entire video to get the gist of what's going on here. Really, the goal is we're going to put this tape down everywhere there was tape prior to removing the glass frame. So once you feel like you've got enough of this, go ahead and move on to part 3 of the video series. If you want to watch the whole thing, it can be useful. Just make sure you don't cover up any of the holes. So overlap it on top of that little lip, so I'm going to try to keep it underneath. The reason why I'm doing that is I don't want it to have the glass try to lift off or have a lip in it on top of the frame when I put it down. I want it to be nice and flush just like it was when we removed it. So being cautious not to let it overlap itself, and then we'll just use our pick here to roll down the side of the phone. Go ahead and use our scissors here and cut it. We'll put a little piece up here at the top. Where the cable goes through. Just checking to see if I can go around this camera, but it looks like it may just be a little bit too thin. Now it doesn't have to be exactly everywhere, but the goal is to get as much adhesive surface onto the frame as possible. That way you have the best hope of having the glass stay nice and in place for the entirety life of this device after you make the fix. Run a piece down here across the top of the buttons. Let's cut it so it doesn't overlap. Now it looks like we got a lot of the thinner places basically covered. We're going to use our a little bit thicker tape here. And this is a black rather than a clear adhesive. It seems like the black is a little bit stickier than the clear. The clear has a little bit more give in it. Kind of like more of a glue or a silicone, whereas the black is a little bit tougher tape. So I basically just cut it to fit the curve of the phone at the bottom down there of the edge. And we'll cut it a little bit short rather than try to cut it exactly to the right size. I'll cut it right in the middle, cut the opposite side into a curve to fit the opposite side, and then we'll cut it to meet itself in the middle. A little bit easier that way. Takes a little bit of the guesswork out of it. And it's okay if it's a little bit short here. We'll run another piece right next to the button here. We'll try to do a little piece in between the buttons as well. Just make sure you don't cover up any part of the home buttonhole. You don't want your home button to be sticky, so don't let it overlap over the edges. Go ahead and just trim it so it's nice and straight here, and we'll go ahead and start on the top portion of the device. Now right here you can see there's a little bit of a lip on the frame. You don't want the tape to overlap on top of that lip. You want it to kind of allow the glass to sit underneath it. So when you're cutting your adhesive here, make sure you cut it to fit this lip. Put a little piece just right next to the speaker here. Use a little bit thinner tape here across the top so don't block this port here. A little bit thinner piece to cover up this extra gap on the side of this other one. We're going to put a piece underneath the lip of the phone. Where our glass will fit in. Alright, we're just going to kind of dry fit it here and see how it's going to work. Won't have any tape showing anywhere. We're looking pretty good. Next step is just go ahead and peel off all the backing. Now sometimes if you try to pull this off, the tape will want to come up with it. If you see that as it happens, just go ahead and just push it back down on the corner and then try to pull the backing up. Normally it'll stick down. The clear tape is a little bit more notorious for this rather than the black 3M tape. So just be aware of that if you're using the clear tape. Alright, getting pretty close to being done. It's going to work on the top now. Alright, now that all the backing is off, we can go ahead and take our piece of glass and insert it into the frame. We need to pull the backing off of it. Make sure you don't leave this on here. Make a real glare in the sun. Just be careful not to put your fingers on it after you remove this. If you do get a fingerprint, just use a microfiber cloth and use dry microfiber cloth to clean it. We're going to put our top piece in first. Make sure the corners fit nice and snug up at the very top, and then start your bottom corners next. Make sure they're nice and in there. Then you can work your way up the side of the phone, just pressing down as you go. And that is the readherence of that glass piece. If you found the video helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to see the next part of the reassembly, go ahead and look in the description. It'll be down there. If you want to see any more videos of phone repair, go ahead and subscribe to me. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next one.